Okay, good afternoon, everybody. So our caucus just finished a really fine virtual discussion with President Biden, and Senate Democrats are committed to passing the American Rescue Plan to crush the virus, recover our economy, and deliver help to Americans who need it the most. President Biden made his pitch today to our entire caucus, and he said we need to pass this bill and pass it soon. That's what the American people sent us here to do, and we have to get America the help it needs. We've had the worst health care crisis in a century, the worst economic crisis in 75 years, and we need to deliver. We're on track to send the American Rescue Plan to the President's desk before the expiration of the enhanced unemployment benefit, which occurs on March 14th. We could take it up as soon as tomorrow. I expect a hearty debate. I expect some late nights on the floor. But American people are overwhelmingly in support of this legislation. A majority of Democrats, independents, and in many polls, Republicans support this bill. It seems the only group that doesn't support this bill are Senate Republicans and House Republicans. But the American people, including Republicans, show very strong support for this bill. And they know, and the reason is simple. We have to crush the virus. We have to get our economy back on track. We have to get Americans back to work. And we all know how the bill delivers. $1,400 in additional direct payments to struggling Americans. That's the $2,000 check that we promised, the $600 from before and the $1,400 now. It'll help our schools reopen as safely and quickly as possible. It'll help small businesses get roaring back. It'll keep teachers and firefighters and bus drivers who work for governments to continue to work. It continues the assistance for the jobless and the hungry. And it funds in a far more robust way than President Trump even contemplated distribution of life-saving vaccines, the linchpin to overcoming and ending this pandemic. Every member of our caucus, I believe, has had input into the bill we will put on the floor. We are working in concert with the President and the House, and we all know that job number one is pass this bill. So we'll begin consideration of the American Rescue Plan as early as tomorrow, and we'll have the votes we need to pass the bill. Our message to the American people is very simple. Help is on the way. I believe my caucus believes, excuse me, I'm supposed to keep the mask on when I talk to you all. I believe my caucus believes, that we need big, bold action. And we're going to figure out the best way to get big, bold action on a whole lot of fronts. We're not going to be the legislative graveyard, very simply. McConnell refused to put bills on the floor. I'm putting bills on the floor. People are going to be forced to vote on them, yes or no, on a whole lot of very important and serious issues.
Okay, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer was just highlighting the fact that Senate Democrats and President Biden are on the same page, including moderate Democrats. So Democrats like Joe Manchin are willing to compromise with Biden to get this deal done. Really, really good news. He also highlighted the fact that Americans are on the same page as well, and the majority of Americans want this stimulus package approved, despite the fact that Senate Republicans continue to oppose it. He also referred to this stimulus package as a bridge to overcoming the pandemic and a bridge to getting back to normal. At the same time, he said that the Senate is concurrently working with the House to make sure that any amendment that is done in the Senate will essentially be pre-approved in the House. That means that once the Senate approves it and they pass it back to the House, it should be approved quickly because Pelosi will have already pre-approved any changes, if that kind of makes sense. He also said that they will have the votes to get this done. Remember, because Democrats are using the process called budget reconciliation, they will need all 50 votes to get this done. They cannot lose a single vote, and he just reassured us that they have every single vote that they need, and this will be done quickly, and that help is on the way. He also went on to take a shot at Mitch McConnell. Now, as Senate Majority Leader, McConnell had the power to take something to a vote or to put it on the shelf and not even allow senators to vote on it, and he was notorious for shelving bills if he did not like them. This is why he was known as the Grim Reaper, and the Senate had become known as the graveyard where bills go to die. Now, Chuck Schumer is saying that he will not do this, and he will try to consistently bring things to a vote, obviously, especially this stimulus package. Now, don't worry, guys. Mitch McConnell cannot block this stimulus. We already know that because Democrats have the votes that they need. But despite that, Mitch McConnell had a lot to say. And of course, he's not in a good mood about this. But let's see exactly what he had to say regarding this stimulus package. And then we'll jump into exactly where the process stands today and when we should have these stimulus checks approved.
Not a year ago, we're making extraordinary progress with the rollout of the vaccines. The economy is struggling to get back on its feet and did not ever become as bad as the doomsday projections at various points a year ago. So we think this package should have been negotiated on a bipartisan basis, like the last 5 bills were done. Instead, the new administration made a conscious decision to jam us, to do it one party only, to take advantage of the reconciliation process to try to achieve a whole lot of other items completely unrelated to COVID-19. So we'll be fighting this in every way that we can. It is my hope that at the end, Senate Republicans will unanimously oppose it, just like House Republicans did. And I think it's noteworthy that over in the House, the only thing bipartisan about the proposal was the opposition to it.
Good old Mitch McConnell. Guys, let me know in the comments what you think about what Mitch McConnell just had to say. The good news is, despite the fact that he said that they will continue to do whatever they can to block this package, they can't. All they can do is delay it. But with that being said, this package will be approved. And I also want to clarify the fact that despite the fact that he is slamming Democrats for using budget reconciliation to approve stimulus, Republicans have done the same thing. They did so when Trump approved his tax cuts for corporations, which resulted in trillions of dollars in tax cuts for billionaires. Now, I'm not trying to take sides here. I am just always on the side of stimulus being approved. But guys, let me know in the comments what you guys think. Now, as far as where things stand today. Now, Democrats do expect to bring this to a vote today on Thursday, March 4th. Now, of course, there's a potential that could be delayed, but it should come to a vote in the next couple of days. Now, that first vote is just to open debate. It is also a bit of a roll call to make sure that Democrats have every single vote that they need. But we do expect that first vote to take place in the next 24 to 48 hours. And once that takes place, the floor debate will be open. Now, this is where the first delay will happen by Republicans. Senate Republicans are going to force Democrats to read the entire bill aloud. Now, normally, this would take a couple of hours, but because this bill is so large, this is expected to take over 10 hours to read the entire bill. And of course, the opposition is allowed to do this. This is within the rules, so this will delay the stimulus package at least 10 more hours. Now, once they completely read the entire bill, the floor can then open debates. Now, because of the budget reconciliation rules, the longest this debate can take is 20 hours. Now, I know that seems like a really long time, but think about it. There's 100 senators, and half of them, the Republicans, are going to delay this as long as possible. And essentially, every senator gets a chance to speak their mind and tell you why they're voting for this bill and why they're voting against this bill. And yes, there will be some Democrats who will take a little bit of time to kind of push for like that $15 minimum wage, things of that nature. But for the most part, it's going to be Republicans who are purposely delaying this bill and will take the entire 20 hours. So once that is done, then we have the vote-a-rama. I know you've all heard that term a lot of times this week. Basically what that means is they're going to vote on the amendments that senators are proposing. And the bad news here is that this can basically go on forever. There is no limit on the amount of amendments that can take place, and there is also no time limit, okay? So experts think that Republicans are going to propose dozens of amendments that will take days to get this done. So even if Democrats bring this to a vote today, we expect this to take 2 to 3 days to fully be approved in the Senate. Guys, I know that seems dirty, but to be honest with you, Democrats do the same thing as well. Both sides do this. It kind of has two utilities. One, of course, it kind of sticks it to the other side, kind of saying, hey, if you're not going to work with us, we're going to make things difficult for you. But at the same time, it also serves as a platform for the opposition to voice what they want to approve for their constituents. So it gives them a platform to say, hey, we don't have the power to do what we want here, but this is what we want to do. This is why we disapprove of this. This is essentially a platform for them to use their voice and spread their message for the Republican Party. Of course, they're also going to use it to delay stimulus. But eventually, Republicans will run out of steam. They'll run out of amendments to propose, and the stimulus package will be approved in the Senate. Now, as of today, we expect this to be approved in the Senate between March 5th and March 7th. So it's going to take a few days, at which point they're going to have to pass it back to the House. The House will have to approve those amendments as well. And then, of course, Joe Biden will fully sign the bill into law. Now, because Pelosi and Democrats in the House are working concurrently with Democrats in the Senate, we expect the House to approve this almost immediately. We do not expect any delays in the House, and it should be approved within a day or so once the Senate approves it as well. But what are some potential roadblocks besides Republicans? What are some things that could slow down stimulus? Well, moderate Democrats were a concern. Democrats like Joe Manchin and other moderate Democrats wanted to scale back the stimulus checks, and they didn't want everyone to get those checks if they had a high income. Of course, that is a change that was approved by Joe Biden, and now if you make over $80,000 as an individual or over $160,000 as a married couple, you will not receive any kind of stimulus checks at all, except for that child tax credit. So that is good news. Democrats were willing to compromise on this, but of course, it is bad news for those who make over $80,000. So if you fall into that category, I am really, really sorry. But overall, it's going to facilitate getting this stimulus package done more quickly. Of course, that $400 unemployment boost. As of now, Democrats have agreed to maintain that $400 per week payments and not lower that. So that's really good news. Now, they are forced to remove that $15 minimum wage, and they are forced to remove some funding for public transit. And this is because of that Senate parliamentarian saying that due to the budget reconciliation rules, they are not even allowed to include this. Of course, some Democrats like Bernie Sanders will still fight for that $15 minimum wage. So we're not sure how much that's going to slow down this package. But at this point, it doesn't seem like Bernie is going to be a huge issue as far as getting this package done quickly. It looks like he will propose an amendment to try and pass that minimum wage just to let his constituents know that he is still fighting for this, but it is not Bernie Sanders' intent to slow down the stimulus package. Now, at the same time, to even bring this to a vote, Democrats have to wait for the Congressional Budget Office to, first of all, give them a top-line number as to what this is going to cost, and also reassure them that every single part of the bill complies with budget reconciliation rules, and then they will be able to bring it to a vote. This is why yesterday on Wednesday, they were not able to do this, but we do expect them to do it today. Now, of course, those amendments will be the biggest roadblock to getting this done. That vote-a-rama situation was going to take probably a couple of days, but once that is done, again, they will send it to the House, and then Biden will approve it as well. So we do expect to have this package done soon, and help is coming soon. Chuck Schumer said, this is an American wish list, not a Democratic wish list. This is a wish list for Americans. When people want checks to help them get out of the morass, that's not a liberal wish list. That is what the American people want. According to Chuck Schumer, of course, Bernie Sanders continues to push for that $15 minimum wage. And he said, of the 32 million workers who would benefit from raising the minimum wage to $15 per hour, 59% of them are women. 31% of them are Black, and 26% of them are Latino. This is not just about economic justice. Raising the minimum wage would significantly narrow the gender and racial pay gap. Let's do it. So despite the fact that it most likely will not be included in this stimulus package, Bernie Sanders is continuing to fight for this initiative. And Bernie Sanders is expected to try and include this in Joe Biden's next stimulus package. Remember, despite the fact that there's a chance we might not receive more stimulus checks, Joe Biden wants to pass another stimulus package that he calls his Jobs and Economic Recovery Plan, which will be a large package that creates more blue-collar and white-collar jobs. But there is expected to be some stimulus included in this package. Now, Bernie Sanders is expected to push for that $15 minimum wage, and we're also hoping that Democrats push to include that $200 per month stimulus boost for those who are on Social Security benefits. We have not forgotten about that because Joe Biden campaigned on that stimulus for those who are on Social Security benefits, and he needs to follow through on his promise. Now, seniors came through for Joe Biden. Now we need Biden to come through for his seniors. So we're hoping that that stimulus for those on benefits will be included in this next economic recovery package. We have yet to confirm that, guys, but don't forget to subscribe. I will keep you updated. Now, the good news is for this current stimulus package, those who are on Social Security benefits will qualify, and those who are adult dependents will qualify as well. Great news for those who are on benefits, because a lot of retirees are claimed as a dependent by somebody else. So a lot of those people will be getting these checks who did not qualify in the first two stimulus package. But guys, with that being said, help is coming soon. But I will keep you updated as soon as this stimulus package is approved and as soon as we have really good estimated dates for when stimulus checks will be sent. And thank you so much, guys. If you made it this far into my video, thank you for supporting my work. It truly means the world to me. If you made it this far into my video, don't forget to subscribe, like the video, and share it with anybody who you think might find this helpful. We'll see you on the next video. Until next time, take care and have a great day.